episode, we're finally going to tip the Corolla onto its side. This marks a huge milestone for this build, and brings us one step closer to being a safe and reliable daily driver. Up to this point, we've been shedding as much weight off the car as possible, dropping the suspension and brakes, and in the last episode, removing the engine and transmission. Like every step on this journey, being a beginner, there was a large learning curve to gain the necessary skills to do this. In the end, the Corolla fought, but we eventually prevailed. Let me show you the steps I took. Center.
So you know it put it back together. So like.
Where'd that come from? Oh, where'd that come from? Noise. I don't know if you can see this. The bolt was just kind of hanging in there, so I'm sure the bumper was fine, but need to fix all these little things. It's off, but I forgot to take these out. There we go. And now it just comes out right there. Look at that. There we go. One step closer. It's looking good. Oh, there she is. Oh no. Poking to see if it goes through. It's okay around the mount. Luckily, I was able to use one of these tall mobile carts. It usually stores one of the large salters, but it's a nice addition as a workbench to the growing workshop. Yeah. 16 inches? Not far enough. 20 inches, something like that. Come on, redo. That's good. So when I did this, I did 8 feet and I did 16 inches here, which if you look down the side gives me a lot of clearance. And I just centered up the bolts and I made a mistake. I accidentally cut it incorrectly. So, measure twice, cut once. It's not exactly flush on the body here. These mounts are a little funky, but maybe when I tighten them down, they'll move around. But it looks like it's doing the trick. Maybe get some shims in there or something, but for the moment, it looks fine. A little bit. A little bit wonky, but basically there. Well, yeah, I'm going to flip the beam going that way. That makes more sense to me. I'm going to do that. Okay, so I flipped everything around, and now I'm going to make some supports in here, and we're going to make the beam that goes up the other side. It should be pretty quick. I think I'll make everything on the ground. Go. So I need to make sure that the beam's going to be here, and the other one needs to go up, and you know it needs to be high enough to support the car and be higher than the roof so it doesn't do anything. So it doesn't need to be too long, but I'll look at my template. Plywood will go on the other side. Yes, because this is the back. So it will be on the front side, and it will overlap this leg, so it will be attached to the leg. I will have a support piece in here, and we'll also attach that. I'll probably double it up, and then it will attach up here and probably go somewhere up here. I have to buy some Simpson strong tie plates. Wasn't pretty, but it's done. There's got to be a better way to do that. Probably a skill saw. Here, there, radius. Cool. Let's get them together. So for the front, it's a little bit of a funny mounting situation. The back is pretty easy because I can use the bumper mount, but in the front here, I don't have that. The bumper mount is actually within here. And I've seen some people do things online where they, put something in the middle or bridge this gap. But I think the best way is these two bolts go into my structure right in the front. So if I build this out, 1 2x4 and then 2 2x4, and then come out this way, I can bridge to this beam with an L bracket. So I think that's the best way to go, but I'm gonna have to get some big bolts that fit into these slots. There we go. And that's where I'm gonna mount. 2 in the frame. I guess these wouldn't help, it's nice and thick. So why not 2 and 2? So I need a bolt, just like this one, that will go through the frame, and it's already got threads in the frame there, so I need to find the exact one. So I picked up this thread checker a little while back, and it's already come in handy. So I just take it, I know this is metric, and I can put it in here, and it's too big for M12, and there it is. M10 1.25. And now I know the exact bolt I need, and I'll get a nice long one that can go through 2 2x4s and into that thread. So this is perfect. Also show it. So now it's on a bit of an angle. Hopefully that's fine. It's the yucky stuff coming down here. Okay. Beautiful. So from what it looks like, things have been repaired in here. It's already all coated up. I think the previous owner did this. A little bit yucky, but these have to come off anyways, so it'll make it easier to access the brake lines and things like that. So I'll shop blast it all. So I was planning on putting 2 L brackets on either side of this 2x4, but in the end it was so finicky, I just decided to put 1 L bracket straight onto the body and onto the straightening plate. That's what these tests are for. Okay, now we'll tighten up, push on there, push on the block, and it will be fastened all the way in. And then we can put our beam in. We can even bend this a little bit. We can put our beam right across. Hooray! Something that works. After I got these mounts on, I started making the front end jig. It was exactly the same as the back, so I won't show those parts. But we did end up taking off some more dead weight, like the doors and the trunk lid.
Wiggle it, perfect. Where are we putting it? Got it?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. Extra weight. Look at this thing. Now with both jigs made, it's time to cut the radii. I had a very dull jigsaw that I found lying around. I could have used my Sawzall, but when cutting the plywood, I found it to be a little too aggressive and left frayed ends on the sheets. Now we have both of them, so the radius of this, because the leg and the arm going out are 24 inches. I will measure up 24 inches and over 24 inches. I will put a line, and I'm going to cut the radius. Something like that. It doesn't look like it's the most accurate thing in the world. The blade came out. It's okay. It's right there. Oh, it broke right at the end. It burnt my finger. Solid. Hopefully. So that aligns with that. It's gonna start twisting the body. And it's quite heavy, this thing. So actually, you know what? Hey, put some pieces of wood underneath. Just don't drop it. No. Perfect. There we go.
See?
Now we can tighten these. So we didn't have this here before. I got to tighten it down, but there was just room for one more nut that went through here. It was the hole in the back here is a little bit smaller than the other one, so we couldn't fit anything through, but I just took a drill, fit it through, and we got one extra support in here, and it makes me feel a lot better because over on this side, We saw before that this is a little rusty, not on the bracket, but around it. And it just makes me feel better about, anything moving around. So yeah, a little more support.
Oh, you move these? Move the what?
Now just move it out. Now we're lowering it onto its own legs back there. Okay. Okay. Slowly. Might be a couple creaks. It's on its own. Not having any woodworking experience, I think this was a big success. I got a lot of inspiration and guidance from the Brad Builds YouTube channel. He passed on a bunch of knowledge and insight. Go check him out. This Corolla doesn't know the trauma it's about to go through. It took a long time to get to this point, and now there's only one thing left to do.
Holy smokes! That was terrifying. Whoa! I'm almost like, okay, shake.
1 month. It's been 1 month since putting this car on jack stands. I said it would happen, and it did, but it's still hard to believe. Looking at this car on its side feels uncanny, like something you should only see at a crash scene. But now we can see all the beautiful metal that needs to be prepped and replaced. Getting the car up on its side was just step one. In the next episode, I'm going to assess all the rust issues on this car, obtain the equipment needed for prep and repair, as well as ask a bunch of questions for you guys to answer about the best ways to go about this based on your experience. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you on the next one.